I know this is not a completely fair question because you're not transitioning straight from MMA to boxing, but we've seen fighters make that same jump from MMA to boxing. Danis recently, and it doesn't go their way.
Danis is not a fighter. He's not a fair comparison.
But there are other examples. I was more referring to
Give me some other examples of MMA fighters.
Ben Askren.
Not a fighter.
I mean,
That's a tough one too. He's a wrestler. Nate Diaz is great. Yeah. Nate Diaz,
but when he made
George
the switch to boxing,
come to my attention that there is a certain clown on Instagram by the name of Danis trying to talk some shit and stir up some drama. So let's go, right? So Dylan, obviously I said you're not a real fighter. My bad, I triggered you. I understand that hurt your feelings. But instead of coming back and just talking shit about me, saying I'm not a real fighter, what did you do? You kind of yourself, right? You backed yourself into a corner because now you have to come with proof of this alleged affair, right? Because the only time I remember ever seeing you in Vegas was at the UFC athlete retreat. You walked up to me in a bar, asked me to peg you in front of multiple other UFC fighters, and I laughed in your face. That's not the definition of a relationship, is it? And stirring up drama on the internet to try to fight my husband, there's definitely better ways that you can handle that. He's got 3 things that you will absolutely never have. 1, a wife. 2, friends. And 3, a real MMA resume. So, Dylan, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but when you're a piece of shit like you are, it's pretty fucking easy. Have a good one.
Gone across the world multiple times and fought on different time zones, so it's not as bad as that. As a fan who wants to watch it live, I think it is absolutely terrible. I think, yeah, it's just not fair on the fans, not fair on the UK fans. Obviously, predominantly it's an American audience, so I understand that they want to sell to them. But why can't they sell to them in the afternoon, which is our evening time? Why can't the Americans watch it in the afternoon, and the UK fans, the Manchester fans, the European fans can all fly to the event, sell out this new arena? I mean, it's going to sell out regardless, mate. We're very, 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 very lucky to have a pay-per-view event in Manchester. Very lucky. But UK MMA, let's put it on UK time.
Hi guys, thank you for your support, thank you for your love. I'm okay. I am very, very, very sad, but I'm okay. This is part of the sport. For sure it wasn't my day. Big congratulations for Yasmin. She's amazing person, amazing fighter, and I wish her all the best. And once again, thank you for your support. I'll be back soon.
And 6 days before the fight, the other route that they went with catches corona. And now the UFC calls me and they need somebody that could fill in a 6-day notice, fly across the world and cut 20 pounds of water in these 6 days and fight for a world title. And there's only one motherfucker in the whole world that could get that call for the bat signal, and that's this dude here. But I had to get paid, and I had to get paid very handsomely for doing this. So they gave in to all my demands that I had.
The most you ever made off a fight was $5 million. Was it that fight?
Yeah, that's one of that's one of the fights that I made the most money, period. Because we ended up selling like right under 1.3 million pay-per-views. If I hadn't struck that deal with the UFC, I wouldn't have got nowhere near 5 million. I would have sold the same amount and got nowhere near 5 million. And I would have just felt like I got taken advantage of it. So part of me, the business side of me, the prize side of the fight was very, very much satisfied and happy, for my kids, for myself, my family. But the guy that always wanted that world title belt wasn't,
When you're watching a fight, one of your fights, are you a little bit in your pants? Because what if somebody gets hurt bad? Always in your pants.
It's
Good night, everybody. That's my interview with Dana White. Two ninnies.
Think about this. As brutal and as tough as the sport is, right? That's a tough, brutal sport. There's never been a death or serious injury.
Is that right?
In 30 years of doing the UFC, on average, 4 to 5 boxers die a year.
Why do you think? Why is that?
Because we spend the money. We spend
on what?
On making sure that you have 2 healthy athletes that go in there, making sure the right medical attention is there and after. I mean, there'll be fights, and when you say, are you sitting there in your pants? I'm watching a fight. We have the greatest medical staff, right? After the fight, the doctor might say, he's cleared, he's good, and we're like, yeah, no, send him to the hospital anyway and do a full. We spend so much money on medical.
Kind of like what football did with the protocols, where the guy goes into the tent.
Except the difference is that there was no secret that getting punched in the head is not good for you. It's very bad for you. That helmets don't protect you, but this is a rough sport, and we made sure that we overspent on medicals from day one, making sure that everybody's healthy.
Is that you need the name that comes from the generation before. Ilya seems to be taking another approach. I don't know exactly what it is, though, because he said he wasn't going to fight Brian Ortega. He said he wasn't going to fight Max Holloway. And now it sounds like he's not wanting to fight Alexander Volkanovski again. Those are the names from the featherweight past. He doesn't seem to want to fight those guys. I don't know, when looking at those rankings, who would be next. Now, he's agreed to fight Max Holloway. He said Max Holloway has something very valuable to him. That's a BMF championship. He'll fight Max, but only if Max's BMF title is on the line too. Ilia Topuria is the champ, and as the champ, at times, you have some say into who you're going to fight, when you're going to fight him, when you're ready, and all that. I don't know, though, if he has as much say in this as he thinks he does. It's just weird, right? Like, he's not telling us what's next, but he's saying no to a lot of things that can be right now. And I don't know that you can do that as the champ.
How are you moving on from this? How are you dealing with all of this after what happened to you? A very unique thing to happen 3 weeks out before a fight.
Well, I just can't stop thinking about my boyfriend. I left back in myself, and we had some really good times together in a short few days. So it was kind of bad.
I'm sorry, buddy.
That's all good, dude.